true. I don't know who I am without you. I got it bad, babe.
Navigating this kind of volume and this kind of air pressure is actually really tricky. So this is kind of impressive what she's doing here. Hey, what's up, everybody? Another react today, and if you like anything that you see here and you want more advice, but particularly for your voice, check out the Discord down below where I give free vocal help. If you want to help me help other people, check out my Patreon, link down below. You will get guaranteed reacts out of it. Anyway, let us go with Demi Lovato's new Tiny Desk concert.
Oh no, here we go again, fighting over what I said. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm sorry. Bad at love, no, I'm not good at this, but I can't say I'm innocent, not hardly. But I'm sorry, and all my friends, they know when it's true. I don't know who I am without you. I got it bad, baby.
Really interesting, I think, her use of vowels. Super bright, right? And then her mouth shape is also quite wide. And so that gives a lot of brassiness to the tone. You can even try that right now with a simple, like, sustaining a note. Do ooh, yeah, right? Like, the way that we shape our mouth and the way that the tongue is forward can affect the tone dramatically. And because she is doing it's so wide, the tongue is so forward, it's a dramatic sound because she's making a lot of dramatic decisions with that sound.
Got it bad. Oh, tell me you love me. I need someone. On days like this, I do. On days like this, oh, tell me you love me. I need someone. On days like this, I do. On days like this, oh, can you hear my heart say?
So this is super interesting to me. She's using a lot of breath, like a lot. And the result is like, so when you use a lot of breath pressure, if your vowels are not good, you're dead. So her vowels are really good; they're really forward, like we established and like we're talking about. But it's also that, like, you can kind of get signs of her using a lot of breath pressure. Her jaw moving during the vibrato. Like on the E vowel there, and what have you. And oh my goodness, my coffee needs to I need to get my coffee. Ah, okay. Now with this coffee, I'm a human. All right. So, you can try this, and this is actually really, I think, fun, and one of the fun things about singing in the voice. You can actually tell how much breath pressure you're using generally by just putting 2 fingers in front of your face hole. Okay? And so if I did, on days like this, right? Not as much air, but she is putting a lot of air behind it. All right? On days like this, right? Very loud. So the way she's navigating that expertly in order to get this intensity and this heavy belting to not make the pitch go flat and to not hurt her is, we talked about the vowels already, but one of the things we need to talk about is her posture. Let's take a look at the way her torso is. A little hard with the jacket, but we'll figure it out.
On days like this, oh, tell me you love me.
Her torso moving is actually incredibly important. Okay. So our lungs are basically just a plastic bag attached to the ribs and all of this stuff. via a liquid. Okay, they don't have structure of their own. They're not a muscle. They're not a bone. Okay, they're just like a plastic bag attached to all this with liquid. Okay, so whatever we do here, okay, with our large muscle groups will inevitably affect the lungs. Okay, and you can try this again. So with the da-da-da-da, remember what I was saying that? So, right, like all of that's going to affect all those large muscle groups, right? And so it's really important that we keep those large muscle groups really relaxed so they're not compressing and creating more breath pressure. And in doing so, we actually get a way bigger sound. This is what opera singers do, right? They'll even go so far as suspending the ribcage a little bit, okay? And by doing this, you get way more power in your sound. And it's contrary because you'd think like, would get you more power, but it's the opposite. It's actually being way loose. And that's how she can handle all of this breath pressure and all of this volume and all of this belting and not hurt herself. If you tried to copy what she's doing without those things, without good vowels and amazing breath support, which is to say you're not crunching down on your lungs, right? You would actually feel incredibly physically uncomfortable trying to pull this off. So good on her. This is hard.
I need someone on days like this, I do. On days like this, oh, can you hear my heart say? 'Cause you ain't nobody till you got somebody. You ain't nobody till you got somebody. And I hope I never see the day that you move on and be happy without me. Without me. Oh, what's my hand without your heart to hold? I don't know what I'm living for if I'm living without you. Oh, my friends, they...
So this is something that gets brought up a lot. Runs, right? A lot of my students want to know how to do runs, and a lot of them are terribly unsatisfied with my answer because runs are just like anything impressive in singing, high notes, low notes, runs, it's usually just an extension of really, really basic fundamentals. And no one likes to hear that because that means there's no trick. And that's why people find runs impressive, is because you can't just trick. There's no trick. There's no like, oh, I'm just going to do this little thing and then runs are going to happen. You need good vowels. You need good air. And if anything, when you have good vowels and air, it does get easier. But what happens generally when you want to do runs is you lighten the voice a little bit. So a little bit less breath pressure. And also, usually the larynx goes up a little bit. And so let's take a look at that belt into those runs and see just how different. It's subtle here, but it's different in that she's a little bit more gentle on the runs, and that is the only difference. That's the only change.
I'm living for if I'm living without you. Oh, my friends, they know when it's true. I don't know who I am without you. I got it bad, baby. Got it bad. Oh, tell me you love me. I need someone.
And it's really subtle, right? And that's what makes this difficult, because it's actually not complicated. Doing runs is not complicated. It's just hard, okay? There's no tricks here. Good vowels, good breath, and very little tension up in here. And when you have that, very little needs to change from this note to this note. When you're singing well, you're actually not changing much throughout the entirety of the range, right? If I do whatever that note is, right? I'm going over an octave and a half, and I'm doing so very easily because not much has to change, all right? And that's what makes you able to do runs, is that you can go in between all these little notes, because the reality is that actually very little is changing, or nothing much at all. So that's how you do runs. You get good at singing.
I need someone on days like this, I do. On days like this, oh, tell me you love me. My heart's like, ooh, 'cause you ain't nobody till you got somebody. You ain't nobody till you got somebody. Everything I need.
I hate to pause it again. Actually, this time I love that little oomph into falsetto, right? This is what's difficult about this style of music, and any style of music where you have a lot of repetition, right? You can't say you're saying the same words, but you can't say the same thing twice. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to have some changes in the emotional context.
Days like this I do. On days like this, oh, can you hear my heart say? 'Cause you ain't nobody till you got somebody. You ain't nobody till you got somebody. My heart's like.
And the belting and her high notes are great, but I what I'm really in love with is the conviction. And what she has to say. This is so like, this is scary as a singer. You have a pianist, and the pianist is playing a very it's a like a vibraphone thing. It's not. It's a very very sparse accompaniment, right? Guy's just playing chords, like, right, like very very sparse chords, and you don't have anything to hide behind here, right? There's no big production. There's nothing, and this is why I love those tiny desk concerts. It's just a piano, and it's just Demi Lovato, and you have to be so real and so honest with performing here, and I think she does an amazing job of that here. Right?
'Cause you ain't nobody till you got
Beautiful.
somebody. You ain't nobody till you got somebody. Everything I need is standing right in front of me. I know that we will be alright, yeah. Through the ups and downs, baby, I'ma stick around. I promise we will be alright. Oh, tell me you love me.
Oh, she's so passionate. I love this. So there's anytime you have an opportunity to make a diphthong. Diphthong is 2 vowels put together. Triphthong is 3 vowels put together. Anytime you have an opportunity to like morph with the vowels, and this is what singing can do over speech and spoken word. Yeah, each has their own strengths and weaknesses. None is better than the other, right? But like, listen to love. The word love, when we say it, has 1 vowel. Love. Like, she just does this morphing that doesn't make sense in any other space other than singing.
I promise we will be alright. Oh, tell me you love me.
Right? There's like a W in it. Love me. Right? And Beyonce did this with the word strong. She did in the AOL 2008 performances. And this is such a great little tip. When you really want to give emphasis to a word, is throw some vowels there that maybe don't belong, and then it'll bring attention to it.
I need someone on days like this. I do. On days like this. Oh, tell me you love me. Yeah. Days like this. Oh, can you hear my heart say? Hear my heart say. Hear my heart say. You ain't nobody till you got somebody. Yeah.
Dang. That's such a great singing. You know, it's really a treasure. I love it. Well done. I'm gonna break this into a few parts just because I have some stuff to do today. But thank you for the person who recommended this. And for folks who want to understand a little bit more about singing, maybe you're stuck, maybe you can't afford voice lessons, I run a Discord. I give free advice. The link to that is down below. If you are super active, you can actually win a promo code for a free lesson, 100% free lesson. If that sounds cool to you, but you don't want to learn to sing and you want to support that, check down the Patreon. You'll get reacts in return to help, in return for helping me support young singers who don't have a budget. Yeah, this is really nice.